One of my subscribers wanted me to create a video about the James Crumbley verdict this afternoon, and here it is. It got close to 5 p.m. local time in Michigan, and we thought that the jury would go home for the day, but they said no, let's stay up late and reach a verdict. It was around 7 p.m. local time that the jury announced their verdict in the James Crumbley case, and they came back with guilty on all 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The whole family has now been found guilty of charges in relation to the school shooting at Oxford High School. So shooter Ethan is in prison for life. He had pleaded guilty to the murders and other crimes, but he has also left it open for appeals later. Jennifer and James are now guilty of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. I wanted to give some thoughts about the different things regarding this case. There was a chance that James would be found not guilty. This would bring up an interesting situation where the mom was found guilty, but not the dad. People would point to the differences that the mother knew more about the depression of Ethan than the father did. I didn't see that much, but people would always wonder if the mother was punished because society assumes that the mother is supposed to know more. Also, one of the facts that came out was that Jennifer was having an affair, and finding the woman guilty just because she was sleeping around could be considered sexist. And last, the lawyer for James was definitely better than the one for Jennifer. However, when we are talking about these crimes, we want the facts to dictate whether someone is found guilty or not the closing arguments or who the lawyer was. These arguments won't play out with both parents being found guilty. Next, I wanted to talk to you about reverse jury nullification. But first, let's talk about jury nullification itself. Jury nullification is a jury finding someone not guilty even though they know they are guilty, but making that decision on other factors such as the law that they were charged with was wrong. A crazy example might be a jury finding someone not guilty of ripping tags off a pillow just because the jury sees the law of ripping tags being stupid. But we don't have that in this case, but we might have the opposite. School shootings are definitely an issue in the U.S., and there really hasn't been any solutions, especially ones people agree with. People don't see the legislatures doing anything about it, so did the jury see this as an opportunity to do that? Are they in effect creating their own law? There are times when someone can say that there should have certainly been a crime, and we know it when we see it, but it has never been spelled out in the laws. We want to punish parents if their child commits a school shooting, but that doesn't mean we actually have a law that allows it. The firearm angle is what gun owners are worried about as a result of this decision. Can firearm owners be held responsible for someone else's action? And the question is, what do parents have to do? Is it a question of just making sure that all guns and ammo are locked? In Ethan's case, the dad didn't lock the gun as good as he could have. Was it getting a gun within a short period of a shooting? Did the parent need to tell the school about the gun? Was it just the timing of the gun purchase? Would it have been different if the gun had been purchased a year prior? It's the slippery slope that people are worried about. We are potentially trying to legislate what we want to happen, but without the normal body doing the legislation. And maybe this is an overaction, and in the future no charges will be filed against parents. Or maybe the situation will be apparent with the next situation, being even more clear on the negligence part. The next question is about the civil lawsuits. The good news is that the family of the victims got what in their minds was justice for what happened. And maybe that is enough. But there won't be much of a payout for the families if money was what they wanted. There was already a court case against the school district and several employees, but the case was dismissed against the school district because of the government immunity. What I read said there will be an appeal, but I haven't seen anything further from it. Did the school have any duty to force the student to leave after they saw what was written on the math homework? Was it enough just to say you should see a therapist sometime but still go to class later? I'm not sure that I can answer any or all of these questions. I think there might be some morals that all of us can agree on, though. If the school goes to the parents and say that they are worried about a belief that a student might become violent or suicidal, the parents need to take it seriously. They can't just say, go back to class. They need to make sure they understand what is going on and work with the school on what should be done. Also, hopefully, learning to lock up all of your weapons. Don't use the default lock. I think we should understand how emotional teenagers can be and avoid some of those situations. The hardest part is just how easy and dangerous firearms are. I think as a country we are still going to have to grapple with what we are going to do to try and mitigate some of the mass shootings. Yes, they might be more scarce than things like car accidents, but it is a problem because of the randomness and the amount of violence it can do. It will be interesting to see if lawmakers do anything. Will there be a backlash to prevent another guilty verdict for parents? Will the opposite happen with the lawmakers, making it more clear about parents being held accountable for the actions of their kids? Will prosecutors use these two cases to hold other people accountable after shootings, or will it just be a one-time thing? I know I have touched on some very controversial subjects. The right to own guns is a very deeply held belief in this country. Please let me know your thoughts about how you feel about some of these issues in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I won't always talk about controversial verdicts. Stay warm and safe. This has been an episode of Just Legal History with your host, Mike.